The Montreal Canadiens versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. A rivalry that over the years has become one of the most contentious rivalries in the NHL. The only problem is Toronto, they're kind of going through something right now.
I really hate to be the dude that with us. You think? I mean, hell.
Yeah. Still, can the Maple Leafs dig deep and give Montreal a real test tonight? 2 big points are on the line. Let's talk about it. I got some new glasses. I know they're not really, I'm not making any fashion statements with these ones. My insurance covered like a nice pair and then just a regular pair, so these are the regular ones. They came in first. But it is incredible and kind of sad how much better I can see close up. I'm of a certain age where your eyes, I guess, just get bad, and this is where we're at. This is how we're doing it now. And before we get into the recap, I want to tell you about selling collectible cards can be a headache. Listings, photos, fees, messages, all that stuff. That's why I use Slab Sharks. They don't just make it convenient, they handle everything. They pay the eBay and PayPal fees, take the photos, run the promotions, and list cards for you. And you can track every step of the sales process right from your dashboard. These guys are the gold standard of Canadian card consignment. And honestly, they just make selling cards stupidly easy. Here's how it works. You send in your cards raw or graded, and Slab Sharks handles everything. Photography, listing, shipping, customer service. No hassles, no meeting strangers in a dark parking lot halfway across town. You just sit back and collect your payout. Are you on the hunt for Matthew Schaefer, or do you have a Schaefer card you're looking to get rid of? Slab Sharks might be the place for you to do it. They regularly get the best price for your card and have all the hottest cards in stock. So if you've been thinking about moving your cards, or you've just got a stack sitting around collecting dust, follow my affiliate link in the description or download the app on your phone and let them turn your collection into cash. Fast, safe, and ridiculously easy. Thank you to Slab Sharks for sponsoring the channel. Now, let's talk about La Formation de Départ. Tonight's starting lineup. Nos attaquants are forwards. We got Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Evans, Doc, Anderson, Danault, Gallagher. Nos défenseurs, our defensemen, Matheson, Dobson, Gooley, Hudson, Xhekaj, Carrier. Et nos gardiens, our goalies. We got Dobes in net tonight. Montembeau's backing him up. Dobes getting a lot of starts, and with good reason. He gets the wins. The stats still not looking so hot, but looking better than Montembeau. Tonight is game 1 of a back-to-back. Tomorrow night, Montreal plays the Senators. Dobes starts tonight. Likely, Montembeau starts tomorrow night. Montembeau doesn't play great against the Senators. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried for Montembeau tomorrow night. But we're talking about this game, and we get things started off. Montreal is bringing the pace early. Kapanen bringing in the first good chance for the Canadiens. Driving the zone, curls in, gets right in front, but Stetcher gets a stick on it, and it's deflected outside the glass. Now we see Doc driving in. Montreal is now really looking like they're fully in the driver's seat. They keep pouring it on. Gooley is now in tight, knocking the mask off of Wall. You kind of got to wonder what Dakota Joshua is thinking here. It's giving Gooley a lot of space to do this. So obviously in the first period, Toronto's having a lot of problems. They've been having a lot of problems. Since returning from the Olympic break, they've been losing, and that's it. And in this first period, Montreal's going to strike first.
Demidov takes a bump from Ekman-Larsson, but works it loose. Newhook in front, scores! Pretty goal!
Captain makes it 1-0. Man, this is a nice sequence. Demidov does a lot of hard work on this one. Kudos also by Newhook and Kapanen for making this happen, obviously. But Demidov does a lot of board work, gets the puck to Newhook, who gets it to Kapanen in front of the net, who pulls off a nice little move in front and sneaks it past Wall. 1-0 for the Habs. And that's not a good thing for Toronto because they've been starting games off with the first goal and still losing. So they're already way behind. Still in the first period, a lot happens in the first period. We see a nice passing play here by the first liners. But on the other side of the sheet, Caulfield gets his stick checked by Nyes and feeds Domi in the slot. That was a little bit of a heart attack moment. Going back the other way, Anderson misses a tap-in opportunity. But Montreal's creating a lot of chances and things get even better as they go on. Now we see Toronto on the rush. Quillen gets the puck to Joshua in front, but somehow Dobes gets enough on it that it doesn't go in. We're still talking about the first period, and they are peppering Wall. Toronto has no answers in this first period for what the Habs are doing. And before long, Montreal strikes again.
For Kapanen, the goal scorer. 1-0 Montreal. Cooley, funny bounce in front, scores!
Thing with this one is, it's kind of a lucky bounce, isn't it? I almost feel bad for the Leafs. I don't, but I almost do. They're getting a lot of bad luck. They're getting a lot of bad luck, and they're also playing very poorly. But it's a weird bounce here. Danault gets it in front of the net, beats Riley out. Good hands by Danault here to get past Wall as well. So credit to Danault a little bit at least. Shots are now 17-5 in the first period. What a miserable game so far for Toronto, but it could be much worse. Wall is actually doing excellent in net. And I'm still talking about the first period. Gallagher stands young Easton Callan up, and when McCabe catches wind of what happens, the battle of the bald spots breaks out.
Gallagher. First one to it.
Arbor Xhekaj and Carrier are just loving this. And that's how the first period's going to end. 2-0 for the Canadiens. 18-5 in shots. Dominant first period by the Habs. And you'd think that at least some of that would carry over into the second period. But it doesn't really. The second period is off. Let's see how Toronto responds. Well, Xhekaj tries to cut off a pass here, but instead takes Quillen out and goes into the net. That's going to be a penalty for Xhekaj. However, Montreal kills off that penalty without much trouble. Slavkovsky is having a great game. A lot of Canadiens players are having a good game. But if Slav gets one more point, he'll set another under-22 record, and you feel like he's sniffing it tonight. But the thing is, Montreal in the second period definitely slowed their pace, only putting a few extra shots on goal halfway through the second period. And then we see Hudson allow himself to get behind Easton Cowan. And I know a lot of hockey fans are really tough on Cowan, but I want to take a minute here and pump this kid's gas because he's going to turn out to be a really great player. Just give him a couple of years and maybe, 20 pounds of muscle. He's got great hands and good speed. So at least look forward to that, Toronto fans. I guess look forward to that for the rest of the season because a lot of those young guys are going to get opportunities, right? Montreal is giving Toronto a hard time on the power play, but before the power play is exhausted, Michelli is going to get past Matheson. He only has Kapanen flat-footed and takes his shot, but Dobes is able to get some leather on it. Dobes, for the amount of shots that he's seen so far this game, doing great, but he's not going to be perfect. Yeah, Nylander makes it 2-1. This one kind of stinks because Dobson here passes to Evans, who doesn't get the memo. It looks more like a pass to Nylander. This catches Montreal completely off guard. Nylander and Cowan have their way with Dobson and Dobes. They do whatever they want and they put that puck in the net. So Montreal definitely loses some of their swagger after that goal. Toronto does get some life, but Montreal is still up after 2 periods. We're headed into the third period. I want to say Newhook, since coming back, has looked great. He's been looking great in this game. The second line looks fantastic. So has Doc, Suzuki, Slav. They've all been rotating around an awful lot, which makes me wonder, where's Caulfield? Well, I noticed this back in the first period, and Caulfield wasn't playing a lot in the second. In the first period, Caulfield ends up going off halfway through his shift. As far as I can tell, he looks a little bit uncomfortable, and then he's bent over. Then he raises his hand to take a shift. After the game, Martin St. Louis would tell the media that Caulfield was battling sickness. I'm not so sure about that. We'll get to it. Third period starts and they're strategizing. Are they talking about how they're going to compensate for Caulfield being missing? We see Evans get a great chance to get another goal on the board, but squeezes the stick a little too tight. Probably should have gotten Woll fooled. Why is that hard to say? Woll fooled. Could have taken his time a little bit here. It's now 6 minutes into the third period, and Sportsnet commentators just now realize that Caulfield has played like 10 shifts this entire game. They think he's been benched by Martin St. Louis. That's an interesting theory, guys. Now, Bo Grew. He's only played a couple of games in the NHL. I think this actually might be his second. His first game for Toronto, he completely undresses Dobson here. Gets in tight on Dobes. Good for him. I like seeing this from a young guy. And this guy is from France. So you friends with Texier, I wonder? They come back from commercial break and Caulfield is skating around. He's testing himself here. This doesn't really indicate that he's like sick with the flu or something. I'm really worried that there's some sort of a lower body injury going on. But Toronto takes a penalty and Caulfield does come on to try his hand at the power play. But it wasn't a real productive power play. So they go back to 5-on-5 and OEL immediately takes another penalty. So Caulfield comes back on again. At least he's feeling well enough to try these power plays out. Still, not a very productive power play on this opportunity either. The second line gets a good shot. Doc gets a good chance in front, but can't find good wood. And now things are starting to wind down. And now, before you know it, Wall is pulled. The Leafs have an empty net and the Habs are fighting off the dreaded 6-on-5 that they do so poorly against. But they've been practicing. And I'm going to save you the drama. Evans makes it 3-1 on an empty net goal.
And Swollen, Matheson to get it out. Evans after it. Coward back. Jake Evans.
Matheson is the hero here. He does a huge diving stick swipe to get the puck to Evans, allows him to carry it in past Easton Cowan. That's going to be another one in the books. 2 big points. Looking at the standings tonight, Detroit lost, so Montreal leapfrogs them again. They're back in 3rd place. 2 points behind Tampa, who has been just stinking it up. So Montreal has an opportunity to keep winning and really put themselves in a good position. However, Boston is winning as well, and Columbus isn't so far behind either. So they really do have to keep doing it. But that is going to do it for me. I'm going to bed. This took way longer than I expected. The game kind of finished early. I should have been able to do this fast, but I was messing around trying to find funny clips for you guys. I'm sorry, I feel like I haven't been finding the funniest clips anymore, or the most relevant ones. Like, I don't know, maybe I need to start like asking the Discord server what media property I could call back to or use as a pop culture reference that's relevant to the game. Hope you guys had a good night. Hope you enjoyed that game. Hope you enjoyed the recap. I want to remind you that you should like the video. It helps me out with search results, I think probably. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I would really love to have you. We're trying to hit 23,000 subscribers. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.
Bonsoir.